Hey guys, Hazel here. Scream Fortress is back, and with that comes new maps. Stuff like Blaze Hatton, Outburst, and Freaky Fair are all pretty unique with their gimmicks, especially Freaky Fair being a sort of MVM-CP hybrid. But in this video I want to focus on another map, one that was introduced last year but is still, in my opinion, the best Halloween map due to its simple, unique gimmick. This is Crasher and the Brilliance of Giants. Crasher was a map that was released in Scream Fortress 2023. It's a CTF map with a very unique gimmick. Touch the intelligence and you'll become a giant, or big boy as the announcer likes to call them. You gain 20 times your health, crits, self-regen, ammo regen, and effects like Mad Milk and Girardi only last a couple seconds. This seems overpowered until you realize that you are also slowed down and incredibly big with a massive head hitbox. The map layout itself is simple too, with only two ways to go as a giant, on or below the bridge. Along with that, there are multiple flank routes for the regular sized classes to go to harass you, and you have to deal with a giant on the opposing team as well, making getting to the gate extremely challenging. So that's why in today's video I want to analyze all 9 classes as giants and how they stack up against each other. We will see once and for all who's the true best giant. And by the way, I will be doing this in a tier list format, so S is the best and F is the worst and everything in between. So let's get started. Scout is the first of our 9 classes, and his main objective when not giant is to Mad Milk and Phantom War the giant to make it easier to kill them, since he is very mobile and hard to hit. So strap a bomb to him and tell him to run to the gate and he would have no problems doing it, right? Well, giants basically have no jump height and their movement is slowed down. Also, Scout has a harder time throwing milks, and his lower HP makes him easy to get shredded by multiple classes. But if the enemy team is incompetent or the giant dies while Scout Giant is active, it can lead to easy gate crashes. Overall, B tier. Soldier is up next, and his main ability is splash damage with crits, as well as having a buff banner that can make him immune to crits. His high HP, his damage is through the roof, but his movement speed is slow. Even with a whip, he struggles to make it far. Plus, being harassed by regular enemies and other giants makes him difficult to play unless you know what you are doing. But hey, at least he's better than Scout. Overall, A tier. The Pyromaniac that still hasn't had their gender revealed, but let's go with him. Pyro's main objective is to use the 3rd degree to take down medics and harass backliners or backburner crit the giant. But that's the thing, he has a short range with his flamethrowers, making him easily one of the worst giants since he can't reach the other giants to burn them down. Not even the jetpack can thrust him forwards enough to get burn damage in. But something I almost forgot about and what ultimately saves him from being hucked into the F tier garbage can is the Dragon's Fury, as it solves the short range problem and is incredibly powerful with burst damage when the target is on fire, coupled with either the Scorch Shot for harassment and pushback purposes, or the Flare Gun for long range crit damage if the giant is hiding, makes him able to stand his ground against most of the giants in the game, but he still isn't good against heavies or buff banner soldiers even with the Dragon's Fury. At least he could get some decent caps in every once in a while. Overall, A tier. The drunkish Scottish man with an obsession with explosives. What more could you want? Demo Man has a subclass to him that I'll also talk about, but his regular form isn't all that good. Hucking pipes over rocks to get easy hits is the best that he could do, and face-to-face fighting usually ends up with him dying because his DPS isn't that great. Even giving him a shield and a melee that deals 300 damage a swing isn't a game changer sometimes. That doesn't mean that he can't rush gates with those shield charges, and I've seen that happen, but if you're fighting a soldier or a heavy, no shot you'll be taking them down. Doesn't matter if your HP is high, you'll still kick the bucket before you can even charge at them. Overall, B tier. Now, if anyone here watching has actually played the game mode, you'll see Heavy being played a good chunk of the time, and there are countless reasons why he's the best overall. Though his movement speed is slow, he makes up for it with his arsenal of weapon choices that makes him great at both close and long range combat. This isn't even pairing him with medics, as we are ranking them on soloing the other giants. With 6,000 HP, he has the single most amount of health and can tank the most. He shreds through every other giant that isn't himself or a buff banner soldier. No one even comes close to matching his DPS, and I could go on and on about all the different weapon options, his unique holiday punch gimmick that can save games, and much more. But I won't drag on this video for too long. If you want a separate video on Heavy and why he's the best, I could definitely do that. Just like and subscribe and tell me you want it in the comments. Shameless plug, I know. To summarize, Heavy is broken and his only downside is his speed, which can be countered by the Gru. Overall, S tier. Ah, the Texan himself. While he's good as a regular class, his giant form is horrible, easily one of the worst in the roster. Engineer's health is mid, his speed is mid, and he struggles to beat almost every class. Even giving him the Widow's Maker and an arm doesn't do him much good, but the short circuit is kinda busted with the fact you get infinite ammo to spam the shit out of against soldiers and demos, but it won't do good against any other classes. Stick to the sentries, buddy. Overall, D tier. Medic is the go-to pick for aiding the giant. Guys, please use vac and quick fix. Regular Uber doesn't work and Kritzkrieg is useless. This is due to the fact that he is a support class, and giving a support class a main objective usually doesn't go down too well. Even with giving Medic the best loadout to fight with, Bloodsucker, quick fix, and Uber Saw, it doesn't mean he'll get very far fighting most of the classes. His health sucks and his speed is trash, coupled with his damage being worse than a toddler with no arms means the recipe for a quick bomb death and a waste of time. Overall, F tier. Sniper is great at giant busting in his regular form, but gets busted if he becomes a giant himself. Sniper doesn't get any better as a giant and is in fact worse than his regular counterpart. Sniper's HP is low and his slow movement speed means he gets shredded by everyone easily. Even the Huntsman can't save him here. Sorry mate. Overall, F tier. Last on our list is that cheeky Frenchman himself. While great on the ground, killing medics and snipers is his primary goal after all, his giant counterpart is, guess what, worse than his regular counterpart. Spy doesn't have any offensive capabilities like his regular form, and he can't even dead ringer out of situations like his regular form can. He has less options with no upsides. Overall, F tier. And with that, I'm pretty sure I've covered everything. If you disagree with me, feel free to comment down below and I'll respond. In any case, have a great Scream Fortress everyone, and a happy Halloween.